Hello, everybody. This is Gary. Today is October 21st, 2021, 7:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States in Rochester, New York. And this is my Coping with Schizophrenia blog entry for today. I wanted to first do a quick update about how I'm doing, and then I'm going to go into a definition of schizophrenia and its main symptoms from the Mayo Clinic website. But personally, I made a video last night. I think it was pretty late in the evening, that I was feeling agitated, and I was thinking about going to the psychiatric emergency room, but it actually wasn't as bad as it sounded. I actually got some sleep last night, which kind of surprised me because I was agitated, hallucinating, paranoid, and then kind of isolated. Better now, so my hallucinations are still there, auditory hallucinations, as bad as they were last night. I don't feel particularly depressed. I did take some Klonopin and Zyprexa earlier today to calm down. Zyprexa helps with the paranoia, and the Klonopin, of course, is for anxiety. At some point, I am probably going to have to go off the Klonopin. Me and my psychiatrist will review that towards the 1st of December, but for now, I'm allowed to take up to 1 milligram of Klonopin a day and 0.5 milligram dosages. So overall, I personally am doing okay. Still a little isolated, but then again, that's nothing new for me. I've been pretty isolated all my life. There have been many exceptions when I went to college and when I made friends in college. I was less isolated, and there were other times I was less isolated. I used to work as a home health aide, met a lot of different interesting people, most of whom were sick. That was part of the job. But right now I'm doing okay. My paranoia seems to be in check. My anxiety seems to be in check. My hallucinations are reduced. So let's get into the definition and description of schizophrenia. This is from the Mayo Clinic website. Hold on a minute. mayoclinic.org. This is the overview of schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a serious mental disorder in which people interpret reality abnormally. Schizophrenia may result in some combination of hallucinations, delusions, and extremely disordered thinking and behavior that impairs daily functioning and can be disabling. People with schizophrenia require lifelong treatment. Early treatment may help get symptoms under control before serious complications develop, and may help improve the long-term outlook. The symptoms of schizophrenia include schizophrenia involves a range of problems with thinking, cognition, behavior, and emotions. Signs and symptoms may vary, but usually involve delusions, hallucinations, or disorganized speech, and reflect an impaired ability to function. Symptoms may include delusions. These are false beliefs that are not based in reality. For example, you think you're being harmed or harassed. Certain gestures or comments are directed at you. You have exceptional ability or fame. Another person is in love with you, or a major catastrophe is about to occur. Delusions occur in most people with schizophrenia. Hallucinations. These usually involve seeing or hearing things that don't exist. Yet for the person with schizophrenia, they have the full force and impact of a normal experience. Hallucinations can be in any of the 5 senses, but hearing voices is the most common hallucination, and that's the one that I have. Disorganized thinking, speech. Disorganized thinking is inferred from disorganized speech. Effective communication can be impaired, and answers to questions may be partially or completely unrelated. Rarely, speech may include putting together meaningless words that can't be understood, sometimes known as word salad. Extremely disorganized or abnormal motor behavior. This is something that I personally really don't experience that much, but this is the description. This may show in a number of ways, from childlike silliness to unpredictable agitation. Behavior isn't focused on a goal, so it's hard to do tasks. Maybe this kind of does describe you with the agitation. Behavior can include resistance to instructions, inappropriate or bizarre posture, a complete lack of response, or useless and excessive movement. Negative symptoms. This refers to reduced or lack of ability to function normally. For example, the person may neglect personal hygiene or appear to lack emotion, doesn't make eye contact, doesn't change facial expressions, or speaks in a monotone. Also, the person may lose interest in everyday activities, socially withdraw, or lack the ability to experience pleasure. And some of these things I do personally experience. Symptoms can vary in type and severity over time, with periods of worsening and remission of symptoms. Some symptoms may always be present. In my case, I'm always hearing voices. In men, schizophrenia symptoms typically start in the early to mid-20s. With me, it was my late teens. In women, symptoms typically begin in the late 20s. It's uncommon for children to be diagnosed with schizophrenia and rare for those older than 45. That is, the first diagnosis is rare. Symptoms in teenagers. Schizophrenia symptoms in teenagers are similar to those in adults, but the condition may be more difficult to recognize. This may be in part because of the early symptoms of schizophrenia in teenagers are common for typical developing during teen years, such as withdrawal from friends and family, a drop in performance at school, sleeping trouble, irritability or depressed mood, or lack of motivation. Also, recreational substance use such as marijuana, methamphetamines, or LSD can sometimes cause similar signs and symptoms. Compared with schizophrenia in adults, teens may be less likely to have delusions, more likely to have visual hallucinations. I personally have never had visual hallucinations outside of drug use. I have used drugs before, and when I did have visual hallucinations, I was under the influence of drugs. When to see a doctor. People with schizophrenia often lack awareness that their difficulties stem from a mental disorder that requires medical attention, so it often falls to family or friends to get the help. Um, Helping someone with schizophrenia. If you think someone you know may have symptoms of schizophrenia, talk to him or her about your concerns. Although you can't force someone to seek professional help, you can offer encouragement and support and help your loved one find a qualified doctor or mental health professional. If your loved one poses a danger to self or others, or can't provide his or her own food, clothing, or shelter, you may need to call 911 or other emergency responders for help so that your loved one can be evaluated by a mental health professional. In some cases, emergency hospitalization may be needed. I have certainly gone through that countless times. Laws on involuntary commitment for mental health treatment vary by state. You can contact community mental health agencies or police departments in your area for details. Suicidal thoughts and behaviors. Suicidal thoughts and behavior are common among people with schizophrenia. If you have a loved one who is in danger of attempting suicide or has made a suicide attempt, make sure someone stays with that person. Call 911 or your local emergency number immediately. Or if you think you can do so safely, take the person to the nearest hospital emergency room. I can say in New York State, personally, I know that you can be placed under what's called mental hygiene arrest, which is not a criminal arrest, and you can be taken to a psychiatric emergency room where you could be held up for 72 hours for psychiatric observation. And in that 72 hours, they have to make a determination. Either you need to be hospitalized or be released. Causes. It is not known what causes schizophrenia, but researchers believe that a combination of genetics, brain chemistry, and environment contributes to the development of the disorder. Problems with certain naturally occurring brain chemicals, including neurotransmitters called dopamine and glutamate, may contribute to schizophrenia. Neuroimaging studies show differences in the brain structure and central nervous system of people with schizophrenia. While researchers aren't certain about the significance of these changes, they indicate that schizophrenia is a brain disease. Risk factors. Although the precise cause of schizophrenia isn't known, certain factors seem to increase the risk of developing or triggering schizophrenia, including having a family history of schizophrenia. I have that history. My sister had schizophrenia, and she committed suicide with a gun in 1996. My mother had schizophrenia. She died from complications due to alcoholism. Some pregnancy and birth complications, such as malnutrition or exposure to toxins or viruses that may impact brain development. Taking mind-altering psychoactive or psychotropic drugs during teen years and young adulthood. Complications. Left untreated, schizophrenia can result in severe problems that affect every area of life. Complications that schizophrenia may cause or be associated with include suicide, suicide attempts and thoughts of suicide, anxiety disorders and obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD, depression, abuse of alcohol or other drugs, including nicotine. That's my problem. I'm trying to quit smoking. I smoke 2 packs a day. Inability to work or attend school, which I find it hard to do. I haven't been to school or work in quite a long time. Financial problems and homelessness. I've certainly experienced most of those. Social isolation. I certainly experienced that presently. Health and medical problems. I've experienced those. Being victimized. I've certainly been victimized. I've been attacked physically. I've been abused. Aggressive behavior, although it's uncommon. Prevention. There's no way to prevent schizophrenia, but sticking with the treatment plan can help prevent relapses or worsening of symptoms. In addition, researchers hope that learning more about risk factors for schizophrenia may lead to earlier diagnosis and treatment by Mayo Clinic staff. So that's from mayoclinic.org/diseases-conditions/schizophrenia/symptoms/causes/SYC/2035443. So that's a brief description of schizophrenia and a definition. Some of those things apply to me, some of them don't. It varies from person to person. So that's a bit about it for tonight. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you want to help my channel grow. Share these videos on social media like Facebook and Twitter. If you want to support my channel financially, I'll leave a PayPal link in the description of this video after I edit it and put it up as a video instead of a live stream. And that's about it for now. Press the notification bell if you want to know when I put out new videos. And if you want me to do a video on a specific topic, let me know in the comment section.